Welcome into A to Z Sports on a Tuesday. Hope your week is off to a great start. Today we're talking Tennessee Vols and a couple big decisions for Jeremy Pruitt and his Vols football team. As they started off 2-0, things looked great halfway through the Georgia game. Since then, the last 6 quarters, really ugly Tennessee football after dropping to Kentucky 34-7. Austin Stanley, Zach Bingham here with you. We're talking about the quarterback decision that Jeremy Pruitt has as the Bama game inches closer and closer, coming up on Saturday on CBS, nationally televised. As Jeremy Pruitt, will he stay with Jarrett Garantano? Will he play 3 quarterbacks like he played against Kentucky? Where is Harrison Bailey, the true freshman, highly touted recruit? In all of this conversation, we've got Jeremy Pruitt video from yesterday, his comments on both Harrison Bailey and Jarrett Garantano. Who should he start against Alabama? That'll be a question we'll get to you guys. Then we'll just flat out ask you, where are you with Jeremy Pruitt right now as Tennessee Vols coach? He's not quite halfway through season number 3 as Tennessee head coach, so we'll ask you a question about that. I have one non-quarterback issue for the Vols that's driving me absolutely crazy. And then a new audience, Zach, for our Tuesday Rapid Fire Trivia. We've had a lot of Titans fans the last couple of weeks, but we're so far so good. We're still over 70% on the year through 4 weeks. So Rapid Fire Tuesday Trivia with some Vol fans. That'll be fun. So Vol fans, stick around for the end of the show as we do our Rapid Fire Trivia Tuesday here to wrap things up. Zach, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, happy Tuesday to everybody. We're going to have a good show here in studio. A lot of interaction today regarding a struggling team, and that being the Tennessee Vols after that loss to Kentucky. We'll dive into that and get you guys' opinion. Before we get started, though, please share the show. Bottom right corner of your screen, if you're watching on Periscope/Twitter, you'll see those 3 little dots. You can share the broadcast that way. We need to pop up in your Twitter followers' timeline. So please share the show around and help us out there. Also on Facebook, we're also on YouTube and Twitch. But Facebookers, more people will pile in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. Please distribute the show for us. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends news feed. How that works, bottom left corner, share now to public. That is share now to public. Sharing is caring. Going to have a good show today. Big decisions for the Tennessee brass, fan base, coaching staff, players. This is a big-time moment in the season as they're about to play Alabama, and we'll just that's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, yes. It'll be a fun show. I see the comments. I like Dustin saying he brushed up on his tennis trivia, getting ready for today's show. We appreciate the team effort there from Dustin. Let's get it going officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at A to Z Sports. You like our Facebook page at A to Z Sports Nashville. We're Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for our show, and they help out you guys. Renters Warehouse Nashville, the professional landlord in the Nashville area. RentersWarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness. We were there yesterday in Brentwood. Mandu.com. Your first workout is absolutely free at Mandu.com. The Tucker Agency, Nashville's independent insurance agency, giving you relief by saving you money on your insurance at TuckerTN.com. Calvin and Subtle, holiday season approaches. Want some new floors for your family for the holidays? CalvinandSuttle.com. And the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for great orthopedic and sports medicine care, boneandjointtn.org. So Josh Pate says throw Harrison Bailey to the Wolves. Zach, I talked about this in our Big Orange postgame show with former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton a lot after the loss to Kentucky. That was embarrassing. Tennessee fans not exactly knowing how to feel after losing to the Wildcats at home for the first time since before either of us were born. How did you take in that quarterback performance against Kentucky? What was kind of your reactions to Jarrett Garantano with more turnovers and JT Shrout wasn't any better, and kind of how the Vols played on Saturday?
Well, the hard part, I think, for Tennessee fans, and this is what this conversation is going to be about, is Garantano affected the game negatively too much. I mean, he single-handedly lost the game for him. I mean, he did. He put them in a position, and I look back to that Florida game, when they got down 14-0. They were just past the point of no return. And the problem is one man did this. No other person did this, right? He threw the football. Jared Garantano lost them the Kentucky game, singularly. And here's the thing that you can come to us instead of Jeremy Pruitt, and we'll hear some of his words here in a minute. He's not going to tell you that, but I am, because I don't give a damn, because that's the facts. I'm not going to lie to you and sugarcoat it because I'm not a Vol fan. But the fact is, Jared Garantano lost them, and he is the singular reason why they lost for the first time since 1984 to Kentucky. And let's just face it, kind of a rival, right? Tennessee fans don't like Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't like Tennessee. But he lost them the game. And you could sit here and say, oh, my gosh, he's just a young kid. He's a young boy. He's just in college. That's not how this works, okay? And if you sign up to be a quarterback at a big-time school, and let's just face it, big-time money goes through that school because of said player, you're going to get some scrutiny. Number 2 was the reason why they lost that game. And Tennessee fans should be pissed off because of it. And I'm sure they are.
Oh, yeah. And it's frustrating because it's year 5 for Jarrett Garantano at the University of Tennessee.
Those kind of mistakes.
Yes. And he's been the starter for on and off now 3 years. And it's just like, when is enough for this guy to no longer have any more opportunities? And the hard thing is that Jeremy Pruitt continues to make excuses for every quarterback that he has on his roster. And he's got 4 of them. Like, he's got Jarrett Garantano. He has JT Shrout. He has Brian Maurer and the freshman Harrison Bailey. Like, it's so frustrating to watch the fact that they can't get anybody ready as a coaching staff, and he's making excuses, and Harrison Bailey's probably getting the most excuses out of anybody. Here's Pruitt yesterday.
Well, when we put him in, he hadn't taken any reps for the Kentucky game plan, so we just called plays that we knew that he would know. So again, I can't reiterate enough about when it comes to Harrison about the lack of opportunity that he got during fall camp. He's getting more and more reps. When you get ready to play a game, you really, you work one quarterback, you have a backup, and then the third team guy kind of, if you can get a rep or 2 in there, you do it. But, with Harrison, we're going to continue to work him and try to develop him. Same thing with Brian, JT, all of them, really. But there's only one ball. It's not camp. We're not in camp now. We're in the season, so we've got to prepare for our opponents, which is why we're having these extra things, like on Sunday night. And probably if we can stay healthy, we'll continue to do some of this maybe on the Tuesdays and Wednesdays practices as well.
So that's Pruitt yesterday. That video and all the videos on the show brought to you by Wilson County Hyundai. Get a new car, WilsonCountyHyundai.com in Lebanon. But again, like Harrison Bailey, I get it. Like, the fact that he was robbed of all spring practice and he was an early enrollee, the fact that he had contact tracing twice, so he missed basically a total of 4 weeks of fall camp, and now you get into the season and you got to get Jarrett Garantano needs as much focus as possible when it comes to game planning for him. And then Brian Maurer's been out with a hamstring injury. He also had a contact tracing situation. But they got to be able to do better when it comes to developing quarterbacks. And contact tracing or not, COVID or not, they haven't been able to improve a quarterback on the roster for all 3 years this coaching staff has been in Knoxville, because JT Shrout has been in the system under Chris Winkie is why JT Shrout is on this roster, because he thought he was a great prospect, a high-value prospect as a developmental guy. But JT Shrout has not improved whatsoever in 3 years in the program, and Jarrett Garantano clearly hasn't either.
Why was Harrison Bailey not ready?
Well, because of.
Then why'd you put him in?
He had no other option.
Why not put JT Shrout back? If you're telling me that your freshman quarterback is not ready, then, and this is his words, not mine, then why are you even putting him in the damn game? Where's Brian Maurer?
Brian Maurer, well, I know this. Brian Maurer was in Los Angeles last Tuesday. I don't know why he was in Los Angeles last Tuesday. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know when he got back, but Brian Maurer was unavailable for that game for whatever reason.
So, well, we need to figure out why he was unavailable, because what he said is they have a starting quarterback that gets most of the reps, they have a backup quarterback, and then they have a third string guy. Well, where's Brian Maurer in that? Because I count 4 quarterbacks. Like, this is simple math, right? And the one guy's missing is Brian Maurer. I'd like to know what's going on with him, but you can't come to a BS excuse, and he's going to make these. We're about to hear him again talk about Garantano. You can't sit here and say the guy's not ready and then put him in the football game, right? Well, if you prepare, it doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't, because and also here's the thing, and here's the reason why, Austin. You know this, I know this, and all Tennessee fans know this. They've been waiting on Harrison Bailey. They've been waiting for the moment to see him. He's a very highly touted recruit. He's donned kind of the savior of the program, right? Because they've struggled at the quarterback position for some time now.
Ever since Josh Dobbs left, yes.
And so you're going to throw him out there when you say he's not ready.
Well, and here's the thing. It's because Jeremy Pruitt said there's no other – at some point in that press conference, I'm not sure if it was in that clip or not, but there's nothing like live reps. Live reps, you have to get them, right? And
but he told us he wasn't ready for live reps.
At that point, well, he wasn't ready for meaningful live reps. And that at that point in the game, it's 34-7. It's in the middle of the fourth quarter. You've only gained 1 first down in the second half. Jarrett Garantano has been atrocious. JT Shrout looked even worse than Garantano did on his 1 pass attempt. So there's no threat of and zero pressure for Harrison Bailey to go in there and just get some live reps that don't mean anything. The game is already in hand. So at least let Harrison Bailey get a drive, take some snaps from shotgun, run the huddle, make some calls at the line of scrimmage, see what the defense looks like in Neyland Stadium, at least dip your toe in the water. And I think it was the correct decision to put Harrison Bailey in that game at that point in time, because the game was over. He made one nice throw to Malachi Weidman, who's another freshman, on the sideline. Then he threw 3 incomplete passes in the end zone. And it didn't look great. Harrison Bailey didn't look comfortable to me whatsoever, but it was the right thing to give him 7 or 8 snaps. Why the hell not? There's nothing to lose at that point.
So Steve brings up a good point that I want to showcase. He says, if Harrison Bailey isn't ready, he will get hurt by Alabama. And that kind of leads us to another discussion here in a little bit. But if he's not ready, in 1 week, can he be ready? And right? So if he can't be ready for Kentucky, are you telling me, coach, and this is a question, look, I'm not in these Knoxville pressers, and I know how Tennessee likes to control a lot of people within that. I've been around Tennessee sports for long enough, for a decade plus. So, but this shifts us to another guy that is very, very important, the starting quarterback. Right, we talked about Harrison Bailey. We'll rehash that here in a second. But one of the questions is, leading into Alabama, now who's the guy? Because you just had your starter in Garantano single-handedly lose you the game against Kentucky. What are you going to do?
Right, so who should the Vols start against Alabama real quick? Let me tell you about Renters Warehouse Nashville, the professional landlords in the Nashville area. RentersWarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. There's so many different ways you can use Renters Warehouse during this pandemic to help you out financially. Renters Warehouse Nashville and RentersWarehouse.com.
A to Z Sports. Look, we're talking Vols today. Big conversation. UTQB. Who's QB1? And I think Garantano, or is it going to be Harrison Bailey? Austin, I've not heard this video. I'm kind of sitting and waiting, like a lot of people in this feed, to hear what did Jeremy Pruitt have to say about Garantano's performance.
Yeah, so he made excuses for Harrison Bailey, saying he's not ready and he can't stress enough how little time he's had to prepare. Here's Jeremy Pruitt on JG.
Jarrett didn't play his best game the other night, right? But there's some other guys that didn't play their best game too. So he's going to have to go out here and earn it at practice, just like everybody else. Am I wanting to put Jarrett Garantano on the shelf? No, absolutely not. I think the guy has a lot of really good qualities about him. He's helped us win a lot of football games. Did he make a few mistakes Saturday? Sure he did. Okay, but I think everybody on our football team and in our organization all could have done better, starting with me. So this isn't about one person. It's about everybody within our program, and I think everybody within our program understands that.
So what do you think about that, Zach? I mean, that's the first time you've heard that video, but he's not going to throw Pruitt away or Garantano away. He's going to start Jarrett Garantano against Alabama.
Well, and it's Coach Puke. We hear it. I mean, I get it. It's protection of his quarterback, guy he's worked with, but he made two just massive mistakes that you can't make in SEC play. I mean, you're an SEC quarterback. There's a lot of pressure, and Garantano knows about the pressure. But you cannot do that against Kentucky to take your team out of winning that football game. But this is something that he's just reiterating that we've already known. And this is a Pruitt problem. He doesn't have quarterbacks on the roster good enough to compete in the SEC. He doesn't. Like, they beat South Carolina, barely, but they beat them. They beat Missouri. But this season is not about beating those type of teams. This season was about beating the big dogs, the Auburns, the Texas A&Ms, the Georgias, the Floridas, the Alabamas, or at least competing. They didn't compete in the second half against Georgia. They didn't compete against Kentucky. They're not going to compete against Alabama, the best team in the country, maybe besides Clemson. So the issue is Pruitt didn't get his team ready for this season. COVID or not, that's a bunch of excuses. Because you know why? Nobody gives a damn.
And everybody's dealing with it.
Yeah, everybody's dealing with it. Like, the world is dealing with it. But this is what it has shown me. Pruitt did not have the right guys in the quarterback room because either they weren't adequate enough or they weren't ready. And that falls on the coach and the coaching staff. And that's a bunch of BS coach spew saying, that it wasn't one guy. It was one guy. One guy changed the game. It's a 14-point swing, coach.
Twice. Yeah, and it's very frustrating to watch Jarrett Garantano. So let's ask you guys this question now, because we've listened to Jeremy Pruitt talk about both quarterbacks, Bailey and Garantano. Who should start for the Vols versus Bama? Is it Garantano, or do you ride with Harrison Bailey? Who should start for the Vols at quarterback against Alabama? Is it JG or HB? But first, Zach, tell the people about Calvin and Subtle and how they can help them out.
Yeah, Calvin and Subtle this holiday season, this is all over Middle Tennessee in a wide range. 615-448-6414 or online at calvinandsubtle.com. It's very, very easy. This holiday season, get the untraditional gift, right? Go upgrade your entire house. You've been stuck in your house for the entire 2020 like most of us have. Change that bad boy around and increase the equity. Within 1 to 2 weeks after you pick out your hardwood floors, cost-efficient and cost-effective hardwood floors, very nice hardwood floors. 1 to 2 weeks, they've ordered the material and install. It's so simple. Calvin and Subtle can make your house look brand new and have a different feel. That's what you want. That's what we all want from 2021, a different feel. Calvin and Subtle can help you out. A to Z Sports will help you get the hookup. Give them a call today, 615-448-6414. A great outside-of-the-box thinking when it comes to this holiday season.
Who should start versus Bama? That's the question. But first, don't forget mybookie.ag, code MyTitans to double your first deposit. Take advantage of that. Code MyTitans and mybookie.ag. I'm going to read some answers from you guys. First, who should start against Alabama? Jarrett Garantano or Harrison Bailey? Not my name on YouTube says Bailey. Let's see. Rob says gotta start JG. Josh on Facebook says Harrison Bailey. D. Marie says JG. Nick on YouTube also says Harrison Bailey because JG is garbage. David says Harrison Bailey. Donald, it says JG easily. Have Bailey ready in 2 weeks. I'll come back to that. Brett says JG should start, obviously. He's 8-2 over the last 10 games. That's Jarrett Garantano has not started all 10 of those games. He's had an impact in every result of the last 10 games. And you're right. Tennessee as a whole is 8-2 over the last 10 games, and that's something that we quickly forget after how they've played the last 6 quarters. Daniel says Harrison Bailey, the freshman. Tony Turb says that's a recipe for 5-5 or 4-6, and we got to get him next year. Sound familiar? Reacting to some other comments. Jeffrey says Jaron Garantano. Danny says it's very frustrating to watch the Vols for a decade now. Absolutely. Alex says Brian Maurer should have a chance. The team last year was more hyped around him, and he moved the ball well. Zach, what do you think?
Well, we don't know where the hell Brian Maurer is.
Yeah,
is he in Los Angeles getting a tattoo, or is he in Knoxville preparing for a game? I don't know.
Well, and I don't know if you saw this over the weekend. You probably didn't, but Saturday afternoon after the game against Kentucky, Fox Sports Knoxville put a report out that said that Brian Maurer would enter the transfer portal this upcoming week, and Brian Maurer found that and quote tweeted and says, "No, that's not happening whatsoever. I would never leave my guys mid-season like that." And so
I'll leave him after the season.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, but he said something along the facts that I would never do my guys like that. But so you don't know what's going on with Brian Maurer. He's also
that's a problem.
Hamstring injury.
Right? So this is where I struggle with this question, is because through what, and I think I know what Jeremy Pruitt's probably going to do, which probably end up in a loss this weekend, but we don't know enough about all these guys. So this is what I'm hearing. Jared Garantano can't win you a game because he'll single-handedly cost you a game. He's proven that time and time again. He cannot win you these type of games. He can't do it. Don't expect a different result if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Tennessee fans, don't be insane. And I feel like Jeremy Pruitt's a little insane right now.
Because his quarterback situation is driving him insane.
Well, but he's also treating it like he's locked in a box with a flat jacket on. So I think we don't know anything about Brian Maurer, right? Is he here? Is he not there? Is he?
I don't know where. I don't know where Brian Maurer is, but
can he play?
Right now, it obviously because of what happened on Saturday, it looks like Brian Maurer's not an option right now.
Okay, so if he's not an option, let's move forward. JT Stroud, that guy's good at throwing interceptions. He's not good at winning football games. So you're setting yourselves up. They've already said that Garantano is better than JT Stroud. They've already
Zach Reagan saying that Maurer was at the game Saturday. So that's something.
So Maurer should be an option if he's on the football team, he should be an option. The Harrison Bailey thing is difficult because is the time now? Well, the coach is telling me that he ain't ready. Okay. And if he's not ready for Kentucky, he sure as hell is not going to be ready for Alabama. And I was kind of disappointed in how he handled Harrison Bailey last week. As I mentioned, Tennessee fans, boosters, everybody is waiting on Harrison Bailey. Don't show him when you're getting trounced by Kentucky. I thought that was a very poor move, and then justify it by saying he's not ready. So honestly, the only choice, God, I hate to say this, but is to lose to Bama by playing Jared Garantano because you're going to lose anyway.
Yeah, and that's that.
And I hate that.
I don't disagree.
I hate this situation for Tennessee fans because if I was a Tennessee fan, I'd be beating my head against a hard rock. That's what I'd be doing. A rocky top, I'd be beating my head against that big-ass rock. So why do we not have the guys, as the program we run, to at least participate and get close to these big games? Because they can't.
So I want your comments. Everybody watching right now is what's your emotional reaction to Jared Garantano getting another start as Vols quarterback? Because it's got to make you like throw up in your mouth and then swallow it back down and then do it again like that. Because we've seen this so many freaking times and it's the same stuff over and over and over. He'll put a couple nice drives together. He'll make an unbelievable throw on a rope on 3rd and 12 and convert it, or score a touchdown by throwing it to Josh Palmer 40 yards in the air that looks beautiful. But then he just makes a dumb decision and throws an out route 25, 30 yards across the field that gets pick six the easiest. And then he does it again. Then he fumbles. Then he messes up at the line of scrimmage and doesn't communicate with his running back on if he's throwing or handing off, which is what happened to me with the Ty Chandler fumble on Saturday. I want to know, what's your emotional reaction to watching this guy trot on the field as a starting quarterback? But that is the situation, is he's all they got. Like, he is the best they have, because you're not going to beat Alabama with anybody you have, but Jarrett Guarantano gives you the best chance of at least hanging in the game. Now, the most frustrating part about Jarrett Guarantano for me is that he sucks the juice and the life out of everybody wearing a uniform on the team and in the stands. Is that the defense for Tennessee was playing really well. Kentucky only had 4 first downs in the first half. Then they immediately go 3 and out to start the second half, and Tennessee's defense no longer has confidence in its offense, and Tennessee's defense is now tired again because the offense can't stay on the field, and now the defense can't get off the field. And the defense that plays with excitement and juice against Georgia and Kentucky for the majority of those games looks like trash at the end of those games, and they get blown out 2 straight weeks. The Tennessee defense is pretty good. Like, it is pretty good if they get something out of their offense, but it's so frustrating to watch Jarrett Guarantano do it. But that's what they're going to have. That's all they have. That's the only option, because JT Shrout has been on campus for 3 years, and he's no good. Brian Maurer is not any good either. And Harrison Bailey is just flat out not ready.
I would say, I'll be honest with you, and this is the frustrating. If we knew more about Brian Maurer, that's who I would start. I trust Brian Maurer to compete. He's going to make mistakes, whatever, but I trust that guy more than Guarantano. He's burned his bridge in my mind. He's proven that he can't beat big teams. He makes Alabama last year, right? The selfish move to try to do that QB sneak that just completely killed the game. He killed it just like he did last week against Kentucky. So Brian Maurer would be my choice if I had to pick. It actually wouldn't be either of the choices that we've put, because the coach says Harrison Bailey's not ready. I mean, you got to kind of take it from his word. He's seen it more. I've never met the guy. I've never seen him practice. I haven't seen him throwing a football besides the 4 times he did last week. So right. I'm smart in my answer in that. But Brian Maurer, who I've seen, who has shown some promise, he has arm strength, he's somewhat mobile, he takes chances, which is a good and a bad thing. But that would be my answer. But the guy can't be in Los Angeles on a Tuesday if he's going to play at Alabama on a Saturday. And here's the other thing.
Regardless if it's a good reason to be out of town or not, right?
I just don't know. We don't know enough about that. So, Austin, here's the other thing. On the other side of Alabama, Arkansas ain't the same Arkansas that started the season.
No doubt.
Felipe Franks and Sam Pittman, I'm not saying that they're a stellar team, but it is a different team than what I think everybody thought Arkansas was. And if Arkansas plays the way they did last week and the week before, the last 2 weeks against Auburn and Ole Miss, and Tennessee plays the same way they did like they did against Kentucky and probably how they're going to play Alabama, that ain't a win either. So this schedule, and Texas A&M, they only have 1 loss to the best team in the SEC, which is Alabama. We'll find out a little bit more about Texas A&M. They've also beaten Florida, right? So the schedule has kind of turned where I predicted them to go 5-5. I think you went 6-4. Is that right?
Correct. And we both had them beating Kentucky.
Yeah, and I thought that would be the case. It was not the case. So and Eric brings up, you're absolutely right. There is a bye before Arkansas, and Austin, you've been on record to say that may be the time that's my timeline. Get Harrison Bailey ready.
And I said this after Tennessee beat South Carolina. And South Carolina, it beat Auburn over the weekend, and I don't think we were expecting that. Bo Nix is having some problems. But South Carolina win looks better as the further you get away from it, except Tennessee's quarterback play is getting worse. But I saw against South Carolina how Jarrett Guarantano was not going to be able to take steps forward on a consistent basis. Just too many missed opportunities and bad decisions that are compounding on top of each other for Jarrett Guarantano. That's why I put the timeline in place, is you suck it up with JG's roller coaster through Alabama. You take the bye week, So you get 2 weeks to have Harrison Bailey prepare for Arkansas on top of these Sunday night scrimmages and maybe even a Tuesday scrimmage that Pruitt was talking about, that you're starting to build reps and build confidence in Harrison Bailey so he can at least play and start a handful of games the second half of the year.
I want to ask you a question, and I saw the rumblings on Twitter before last week. And I don't know if you probably saw them too. Didn't it say that Harrison Bailey was taking a lot of the practice reps?
That's what I was saying. It's only on Sunday. Like Sunday night after the Georgia game, they had a developmental scrimmage. So it was only like guys who were not playing in the games. So as Harrison Bailey was taking all the quarterback reps along with a bunch of like true freshmen and redshirt guys and young players who have been buried on the depth chart to get extra reps in practice. Because as Jeremy Pruitt said, like in game preparation, they have to get Garantano ready for the game plan, and they got to have a backup ready, which is JT Shrout. And because Harrison Bailey missed all that time in fall camp, he's not getting the backup reps. At this point, I say screw JT Shrout. JT Shrout should not get any more practice reps because he's going to give you nothing. JT Shrout getting reps in practice is a waste of a rep that Harrison Bailey should get. So at this point, it's JG for this week, preparing for Alabama, and Bailey's your backup, in my opinion, and then switch it and let Bailey go get the stuff during the bye week and leading up to Arkansas.
Why has Knoxville media, and I'll call them out right now, why the hell have they not been asking about Brian Maurer? Why do we not know about that?
That's a great question.
There was reporting by the entire Knoxville media.
And Zach, I watched the entire 25-minute press conference this morning from yesterday.
God help you.
Yeah, I know. And the Harrison Bailey question came halfway through. The Jared Garantano clip that we played you guys, again, 25-minute press conference. That question was asked at 21 minutes. And I don't know what took so damn long for the Knoxville media to get the balls to ask about the quarterbacks, like why it took 13 minutes and why it took 21 minutes to ask a direct question about Jarrett Garantano is unacceptable from a media corps. And they were asking a lot about injuries and vague stuff, but
I don't give a damn. Nobody gives a rip about any of that BS. You know what they care about? Their quarterback situation, because that is the position that's losing them football games. Everything else, look, they got a great running back. I mean, they do. Their running back committee is good. It's very, very good. I think they've got some players on the outside. I think defensively they have shown some good things. The problem is at times their offensive line, but really more importantly, it's their starting quarterback. That should be the first 6 questions. You know what?
I will say this.
The Pruitt should have to tell the media no more questions about that.
Yeah, I will say this. I have to go back on what I just said about the Knoxville media. Jeremy Pruitt did fire D-line coach Jimmy Brumbaugh Sunday night, so a lot of the beginning of that was addressing the decision behind that. So that's a pass. But it still shouldn't take 13 minutes to ask about Harrison Bailey, and it shouldn't as hell take 20 or 21 minutes to ask a direct question about Jared Garantano, and there was 0 question about Brian Maurer. 0.
How much I find this a problem, and this usually happens when you lose to a team for the first time since 1984, is he's firing his defensive line coach when his quarterback is the problem.
Well, and that's it again.
No, let me finish. And now he's going to do it. Whenever the head coach, who, let's just face it, the head coach at the University of Tennessee has a lot more to worry about than what the defensive line coach should be focusing on. They got a lot more to manage. That's why you're the head coach, right? This is not a great sign of where this season is heading. I'm not. I could call it. They may only win 2 more games. They may be a 3 or 4 win team.
Yeah, Brett asked why the D-line coach get fired on Sunday night. Well, the reasoning was, the reasoning was that there was a philosophical difference, and that Jeremy Pruitt said that he would rather make a change now rather than just wait until after the season. So, look,
you'd rather pay a guy $800,000 because there's a philosophical difference and do it himself when he has so many other things to worry about?
I'm with you. Like Jeremy Pruitt being the D-line coach for the rest of the year ain't it. Like that's not the thing that he should be doing. He's got bigger fish to fry.
I just, God, I'd be so pissed off if I was a Tennessee fan right now because this season had some promise. We always had the question marks about Garantano. Those have been answered. He's not the guy.
Well, let's.
But Sean Gill says it, and this is sad. I kind of feel bad for Tennessee fans. Hope is lost again. And the only thing and let's face it, Austin, the only hope that you got is Harrison Bailey. It's not JT Shrout. It's probably not about Brian Maurer because you don't know where the hell that guy is or what he's doing or if he's even in the starting lineup, possible backup, third string. I don't even know. The only guy is this 5-star recruit that has a lot of pressure on him that is only taking JV reps.
And you're right. There's a lot of pressure on Harrison Bailey. Let's ask a direct question about Jeremy Pruitt because I'm curious about this. I tweeted this Saturday night after they lost to Kentucky that Jeremy Pruitt lost a lot of goodwill from the Tennessee Vols fan base.
That he earned last year, right?
Yeah, that he earned at the end of last year and really the first couple of games of this year. But here's the question directly. Where are you with Jeremy Pruitt right now? Are you all in? Are you riding the fence? Or are you out? Where are you with Jeremy Pruitt right now? All in, riding the fence, or out? But first, let me tell you about the Bone and Joint Institute. boneandjointtn.org. They're the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever that injury happens in life, whether it's you or someone you love and your family, your kids, take them to the Bone and Joint Institute for the best care possible. They have over a dozen doctors who do a fantastic job, and they specialize in nearly anything that could go wrong with your body. Also, total joint replacement. They've got you taken care of there. If that's something in your life that you're struggling with, don't just wait to feel better. Go take care of it. boneandjointtn.org is where to go.
A to Z Sports. Don't forget, if you're a Tennessee fan, on our podcast network, just all you got to do is look up A to Z Sports Podcast Network. Check out the Big Orange Podcast. Charlie Burris and Zach Reagan, they do a great job, and it's once a week. You can take it in. They're knowledgeable. Zach Reagan writes for us. Charlie Burris has been a part of the Knoxville media. You're probably familiar with them. Those guys do a great job of talking about Tennessee football during the season. They give you some really good opinions and some inside information. So check that out on our podcast network. It's called the A to Z Sports Big Orange Podcast. Don't miss it.
So where are you with Jeremy Pruitt right now? Are you all in? Are you riding the fence? Or are you out? Rob says the fence. Nick says the fence. Kelkins is fence. North Carolina fan Dan is all in on Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee. Not My Name says was all in, riding the fence at the moment. Let's see. Chase says all in on Pruitt. Zach Goodman with the first out of the show. Blaine says there's a lot of ball left to play, saving judgment until the end of the season, which that's the logical way to do it. But I also don't think that's the fun way to do it. Chris says riding the fence until he proves something. Chase adds that JG is the problem. Josh says definitely fence riding. Trust Fulmer, not so much Pruitt. Has a lot to prove. Anthony says all in during the offseason, out during the season. So we've got a couple outs. Michael saying Pruitt was not ready for a head coach. Eric says on the fence. Okay. Alex saying fence. Nick says riding the fence till he benches JG. Jason says all in but must move on from JG. Brett says all in on Coach Pruitt. Noah all in. Austin Roberts all in. And C. Smith on the fence. Zach, obviously you're not a Tennessee fan, but you can judge Jeremy Pruitt from the trajectory he's on as a head coach at Tennessee. He's 4 games in, almost halfway into year 3. You all in, on the fence, or out?
Well, you got guys. You literally cannot be all in on Jeremy Pruitt. You can't. From what his decisions have been, I don't think that you can be out on him either because of where the program was with Butch Jones, right? The whole coaching search thing, and now where they are now. They're in a better spot. They're not anywhere close to where they need to be, but I'll tell you why you should be riding the fence on Jeremy Pruitt, and more importantly, I'll tell you why you cannot be all in on him. The reason is Jeremy Pruitt has not won a game that will help him win the SEC East. He hasn't. Beating Kentucky a couple of years ago didn't help him win the SEC East. He wasn't even close to that. Beating Auburn a couple of years ago in Auburn doesn't help you win the SEC East. You know what does? Beating Georgia and Florida has been unable to do that, and had a really good opportunity a couple of weeks ago when he had a lead at halftime. Then pissed that away by scoring 0 points in the third and fourth quarter. You can't be all in on Jeremy Pruitt, and I don't think that you could be out on him. But I'm more out than all in because he doesn't prove to me, and again, I'm not a Tennessee fan, but I know the Tennessee expectations, or at least what my expectations would be if I was a Tennessee fan, is until he beats a team that helps his team win the SEC East, I can't be all in on him. And then I'm more out because how much hope do you have him competing against Alabama this week? None. So that's also a problem, right?
Well, and I will say this.
No, I didn't say win. I'm not expecting them to win.
Competing, yes.
But competing. Like, hell, Ole Miss competed. Now, they laid an egg last week against Arkansas with the 6 interceptions. There's no excuse for that. But you know what? Ole Miss competing with Alabama was a win. You want Tennessee to just compete with Alabama this weekend. If they can get it within 14 points and score multiple touchdowns and execute and not make massive mistakes like they did last week, that's what you're looking for. But Jeremy Pruitt has shown me that his team thus far cannot do that.
There's a few things you're looking at from a college football head coach. You're looking for being able to recruit and to bring in top talent players, right? Because you have to have the best players to compete at the highest level of college football. You can't just be, you can't just YMCA superstar your way to a division title in college football. You have to have the best talent. You have to have the ability to elevate the play of the talent you have on your roster, and you have to make good in-game coaching decisions. I believe Jeremy Pruitt's got the first part. I think Jeremy Pruitt knows how to recruit. He's proven that. He's a fantastic recruiter. I think for the most part, he's been able to elevate the guys that were already on the roster. Darrell Taylor was a second-round draft pick this past draft to Seattle because of what Jeremy Pruitt and that coaching staff was able to help him do from a pass rush standpoint. Nigel Warrior is a great case study of a guy who has got a lot of talent and under one coaching staff was not living up to it. Change of coaching staff was and now is on the Baltimore Ravens. So you've got a couple of those examples of developing and recruiting and elevating talent, but he's not the only thing is it's holding him back is this quarterback. So it sounds crazy to think about this, Zach, but if Harrison Bailey flops, Jeremy Pruitt's getting fired. If Harrison Bailey is no good by 2022, Jeremy Pruitt's likely not here. It's like so much about his job security is on Harrison Bailey's freshman shoulders.
Or I would throw that in there. I don't completely disagree with you. Or a graduate transfer quarterback, right? You can't that's could be
duct tape, Zach. That is duct tape.
No, but it will save a job.
It'll buy him a couple years, right?
But so that's my point.
But Jeremy Pruitt and you can say this for any head coach in college football. You're reliant on your ability to recruit a freshman quarterback and to develop that quarterback to have that guy become a star and leader of your program. And right now, it's all on Harrison Bailey's shoulders. And Caden Salter, who's currently committed, who's a highly ranked guy, I don't know what he's going to be. He seems a little different style of playing than Harrison Bailey, which if Caden Salter, it's up to those two guys. If Caden Salter commits and signs and he's come to campus, it's one of those two. If one of those two cannot win the job, Jeremy Pruitt will be out. But if all it takes is one of those guys to actually step up and be the guy, and now Jeremy Pruitt has a legit chance to compete and win the SEC East because everything around the quarterback is forming into shape. It's just the massive hole at quarterback is sucking all the juice out of everywhere else.
Yeah,
That being said, I'm on the fence with Jeremy Pruitt.
Well, yeah, and that's the correct answer. And Tennessee fans, like, and again, Hunter is all in. I don't understand that, Hunter. I don't understand a couple of people saying all in on Jeremy Pruitt. Are you all in on where, he's gotten you to this point, or are you all in on him getting you where you want to go? Right? You're only halfway there. You rose from the depths of a 4-win team, right? And now you're still doing the same thing that doesn't help you get to where you want to go. Like, Georgia is it's either Georgia or Florida winning the East. It ain't Tennessee. When is Tennessee going to say, is it next year? Is it next year where they're going to say, oh, Tennessee, this is the year that they can compete to win the East? When are we going to say that? But the last time we said that was 2016. Did they win the East?
No,
they didn't. So
they had 16 NFL players on
right.
that team.
That was 4 years ago, right? Yeah. So so now next year is going to be 5 years ago. He has to start making moves that are advantageous for his football program to win his division. That's the only way to get more job security, as you referenced, Austin, because Harrison Bailey is your saving grace or possible grad transfer. You kind of playing with fire, going all in on those chips. So I think on the fence is the correct answer.
Josh Pate says, I would rather go 2-8. He would rather go 2-8 developing Bailey than take another snap with Jarrett Garantano under center. Period.
And I bet you, and who said that?
Josh Pate.
Josh, and I bet you're probably going to get your wish. Maybe not 2-8. But we're probably going to see Harrison Bailey in the second half of this season. And the reason why is just because of how bad Jared Garantano has played. Like, the second half against Georgia and the entire game against Kentucky and probably against Alabama, that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Where on the other side of that, you look at their schedule and you say, Arkansas, A&M, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Florida, let's try to see if they can get Harrison Bailey ready to show some promise going into next year, which won't have COVID, hopefully, to say, hey, this is the guy.
And you won't have Garantano. So at some point, you don't want to save COVID 2020 season and just to the detriment of 2021. You got to get Harrison Bailey some kind of experience, because going into next year, it's not JT Shroud, it's not Brian Maury. I think Harrison Bailey has to be the starter. I think you bring up a good point. You've got to be able to build for 21 while still treading water in 2020.
And that's the glass half full. The quarterback cupboard is going to be cleaned out next year, besides one jar of Jif. And hopefully it's crunchy Jif, and hopefully that Jif jar is Harrison Bailey, because we all love crunchy peanut butter. Crunchy greater than creamy. Come on. You got to jump in on that.
It depends on what you use your peanut butter for, in my opinion.
I don't think it does.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
Give me an example of where you would pick creamy over crunchy.
Most times. I graduated from crunchy. Crunchy was cool when you were a kid, but I'm creamy all the way.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here.
Yeah, Rob says he's all creamy.
Rob's crazy. We know Rob. Rob watches the show every day.
If anybody is crazy you are the crazy person. Yeah, and so have you. You might be the crazy person on the show. Okay, real quick. There is one non-quarterback issue that's driving me absolutely bananas. I use creamy peanut butter on bananas, by the way. But it's the fact that Tennessee's defense cannot adjust to the damn slant route. Like, how many times do you have to get smoked by the quick slant to realize you should probably be playing that inside out and shade to the inside so I don't immediately give up a 12-yard gain on a quick slant? And Jeremy Pruitt's a defensive guy, and Jeremy Pruitt is a defensive backs guy. But that is driving me absolutely nuts, is that just adjust to it. Like, I understand Rob says that they play outside in. As a nickel corner, you should never play outside in. if you're an outside corner, sure, you can play outside in because you have help to the inside. But if you're in the nickel spot guarding the slot receiver, play inside out because you are dead if that guy gets across your face. And it's happened so many times. Like Terry Wilson cannot throw the ball other than the slant route. And so he was able to beat Tennessee in the second half and shut the door on Tennessee's possible comeback or a chance at one because of the slant route. Adjust. That's all I ask.
Well, and
get beat to the outside, like overcorrect for once. I don't give a damn. Just don't give up the slant.
Well, you know who runs really good slant routes?
Jalen Waddle.
Our first trivia answer is correct.
God
it is Jalen Waddle for 100 points. That is correct.
Play number 1 is going to be Jalen Waddle slant, 75-yard touchdown, looking like Joey Kent back in 95.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna be eating crunchy peanut butter all day Saturday on his way to the end zone.
It's like they do a really good job defensively everywhere else. Like they get after the quarterback. They're good at blitzing. They're pretty solid on the run for the most part. They just can't stop the damn slant to save their lives, and they won't even try to adjust to it. It's ridiculous.
We'll preview that game on Friday as we make our game picks, and we need help on our game picks because they're going the wrong direction. Isn't that right, Austin?
Yeah, we suck so bad. Both of us, not good.
Every team that you thought was going to happen last week didn't.
I know.
Besides, Alabama, we knew.
Yeah, we got that one right. But other than that, ridiculous. All right, Zach, A to Z Sports. It's time for our Trivia Tuesday here on the show. Rapid Fire Trivia Tuesday. Hang around for this because we've gone, Zach, our record is 28 correct, 11 incorrect. That's 71.7%. We have to stay above that 70%. So we need your help. Everybody watching the show, we need your help to get these trivia questions correct. We've got 10 random sports trivia questions coming up. But first, Zach, tell the people about Tucker Agency.
Yeah, TuckerTN.com. Will at TuckerTN.com. You can email him today. How much do you pay for your insurance? I'll wait because you probably don't know. That's a problem. You can save money. The average customer saves 20% on their insurance when they email Will at TuckerTN.com. All around Tennessee. It's Nashville's independent insurance agency, but he can help you and his team can help you, okay? He's got a team of people that say, look, this is how we can diagnose what your policy is. This is how we can improve it. And this is how we can make it less expensive. Will at TuckerTN.com is probably the smartest email you're going to send all day. And all you have to do is say, hey, Will, heard about you on A to Z Sports. How do I save money on my insurance? Like, that's it. And his team will get to work and help you do that. That's Will at TuckerTN.com.
A to Z Sports, time for some rapid fire trivia Tuesday. Brett says, let's go. Dustin says, let's kill it today.
I'm changing this.
And Brett says it's time to boost his trivia curve.
I'm going long form trivia Tuesday trivia. That is that. I've changed that in the comments. That's what we're going to call it. It's not rapid fire. This is long form Tuesday.
Right, Zach, you have to keep the you have to like the alliteration. So we're going to go with takes too long Tuesday trivia.
There you go. I'll take that. All right. I looked over these questions again.
Yeah.
I don't know the answers, but not as many tennis questions.
That's good. That's good. Bobby was open for that.
But there is tough ones.
Oh.
Right. It doesn't mean that it is easy. We will start with an easy one.
Okay.
How many holes are there in a full round of golf?
18. All right. Getting off on the right start. There we go.
That is correct.
Dustin does say he's ready for the tennis questions. Dustin studied.
Right. So that's good. All right. Let's go with a medium question. Tiger Woods became a professional golfer in what year?
My first thought was 1996. That's what immediately came to my mind. But I feel like that was he did some things as an amateur before he officially turned pro. So that's where and Jeff Rubel says 1998. 98 was going to be my second guess.
See, I'm stuck between 97 and 98. And and I saw this question obviously before I ask it. I don't know the answer because
Right.
I've got to click on something to get to the answer. But I'm thinking it was like 97.
Brett said 97. It's either 96, 97, or 98. That's literally the only three options.
This is tough because if you, I mean, we got a 33.3% chance of getting it right. And we got 96 come in, a lot of 96s. Or
I need some like more like we got a lot of guesses.
You did it. We had a question about Tiger Woods of when he won his. What was the question that we did for Cheekwood Golf Club?
Oh, it's what college did he win? What college did he go to?
But didn't I say year? And you answered it that time?
No. Jeff Rubel says he didn't even come to the USA until 2000. Jeff Rubel's not from the United States. Interesting. Didn't know that. 96 is quickly becoming the most popular answer. I say we go with 96.
96, final answer?
Final answer, 96.
Tiger Woods became a professional golfer in what year? 1996.
2-0, baby. All right. I like that.
Yes. So,
Jeff Rubel, born in Australia. Didn't know it.
Good eye.
You can't tell the accent might be there from the comments. Okay, so question number 3, Zach.
Ooh, this is going to be tough. Well, let's get with a very hard question.
Okay.
This is a very hard question, as it says on this trivia thing. Who was the first Filipino American to play in the NBA? This is a very hard. That's the category. The first Filipino American to play in the NBA. I mean, right, Kelkins? I feel the exact same way. I have.
Good Lord.
Like, this is not, but it is. It's
Orlando says him.
It's very hard.
Ah, damn it! I feel like this is. And Jeff has to give us a year and a team.
No,
that's not how
that's not how it works.
That's not how any of this works. We don't have that information. It's the website Zach is on that I don't know what the website is.
I found it a month ago or so.
I think we're just gonna have to pass. I mean, there's no. Can we even make a guess about a Filipino basketball player? Because anybody who answers a question is going to be Googling it.
And I'm trying to go through my Rolodex because I'm an NBA guy.
Yeah.
And
no, we have to skip. This is where it takes too long.
We're gonna get it
wrong.
The answer is Raymond Townsend.
Yeah, nobody would have gotten that. Nobody knows who that is. Did
not know that. All right.
So are we 2-1? Was that question 3?
Yes, correct.
No, that was yes. Okay.
So staying in the NBA, which NBA player once co-starred along Jean-Claude Van Damme in a major Hollywood action movie?
No clue.
Somebody's got to know this. What NBA, and it's not Shaq because he was not in Shazam. The question is, which NBA player once co-starred along Jean-Claude Van Damme in a major Hollywood action movie? Somebody, Rodman. It is Dennis Rodman. I'm almost positive.
All
I knew somebody would spark.
So Dennis Rodman is the answer?
We get a couple more confirmed.
Yeah, we got some Rodmans rolling in. Okay, we're good. We're good to go
Rodman. Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, all right.
1997 action thriller Double Team.
Okay, so we're 3-1 through 4 questions.
That's power to the people right there. Good job.
Question number 5, Zach. We're almost halfway there.
All right. In 2014, a bronze medal in super giant slalom made what male the most medaled American male in his sport?
Bodie Miller?
Bodie Miller. That was the first thing that's the first guy that I thought, Bodie Miller. I don't know another male skier.
2014?
But that's right where Bodie Miller would be relevant, right?
I think he was before that.
No, he skied for a long time.
So we're gonna go with Bodie Miller. I mean, let's
wait for a couple more.
Bobby came in with Bodie Miller.
We're on a slight delay, but Shaun White is a snowboarder, so it's not Shaun White. It's got to be
Orlando says he loves the Super G, which I'm the only person I've met, Orlando, who loves the Super G. And Puka says it's about right since it was a bronze. So let's go. I think it's got to be Bodie Miller. Let's go Bodie Miller.
Bodie Miller.
Yes. All right. We're 4-1 halfway through. Real quick, before we get to our second half of our Takes Too Long Trivia Tuesday, let me tell you guys about Mandu, the Pulsive Fitness, for one 15-minute workout that actually you can go work out at Mandu faster than it takes us to do these 10 trivia questions. Mandu.com, your first workout is absolutely free, and that 15 minutes equals 5+ hours in the weight room, full body electronic muscle stimulation. If you haven't tried it, you have to try it once just to experience what it feels like, and then I know you'll love it. Mandu.com, your first workout is absolutely free.
All right, A to Z Sports on Tuesday. Our end of show topic is sports trivia, where we all participate. We're trying to get to 70% out of our first 100 questions. We do 10 a week. We are 4-1 right now.
Yes, we're doing good.
5 questions. Here's the next question, and I think I know it, but I need confirmation. In 1999, the Chicago Bulls traded established superstar Scottie Pippen to which other team?
They trade him to the Blazers.
That's what I thought. He also played for the Rockets, but I thought that was the stint afterwards. You remember the Rockets with Charles Barkley? But
Barkley was probably gone by then. From the Rockets.
Akeem, do you remember that team?
Yeah, no. But I feel like I think it was the Blazers first, and then he went to the Rockets.
I agree because, and you know how I know this? I can name the starting 5 of that team because Sean Kemp was on that team.
On that Blazers team?
Yes.
Because that was the strike shortened season, the 50-game season.
Damon
right?
Stoudemire was
also
on that team. Rasheed Wallace was also
Christopher. Christopher's saying, Christopher's saying the Rockets traded him to Portland. So did he go Rockets?
Or is it the Rockets, right?
I think it's the Rockets.
Wait. I'm trying to think of Fat Sean Kemp. So I think Kemp actually went to the Magic before he went to the Blazers. So that actually may be correct.
So let's go Rockets. I think the people are saving this one for us. We thought Blazers first, but Rockets.
The Houston Rockets is correct.
Yes. Good job, guys. Good job, team. That's what I'm talking about. 5-1 today.
Team game. Really good. All right. Let's go to – this is considered easy. It's staying in the NBA. Which NBA star won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against a business in 2015 for the using of his image without consent?
That's stupid.
It's very broad. It's considered easy, though.
Do it one more time.
So the question is, which NBA star won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against a business in 2015 for using his image without consent?
If it's 2015 and it's considered easy, the answer has to be LeBron James.
Why?
Because it's supposed to be easy. We have to remember that.
Why are you saying it's LeBron, though?
Because in 2015, a superstar using his likeness, was this around the barbershop time? Remember that?
God, I thought that was more recent than that, but
it has to be LeBron. It's considered easy.
But that's not using his likeness. That's using an idea. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, this is tough. We're getting a lot of Ed O'Bannon. We're getting a lot of Michael Jordan answers. And Brett says, yes, LeBron.
It could be Michael Jordan.
Kelkin says, it's Michael Jordan. Trust your local lawyer. Should we trust our local lawyer in Kelkin's? He sounds like he's studied this. It sounds like this was something that popped up and Kelkin's was all on top of it.
It just says which NBA star. It doesn't say active star. I think Michael Jordan makes a lot of sense.
We got to go with MJ?
Let's go with MJ.
Okay.
Final answer.
Final answer.
The answer is Michael Jordan.
Attaboy, Kelkins. Okay.
In 2015, Jordan was awarded $8.9 million after he filed a lawsuit against an American grocery store chain for using his name in a steak advertisement without seeking his permission to do so.
Interesting. Now, this is also this is like we're learning things here. So, what are we now? We are now 6-1.
Yeah, we've got
3 questions left.
Yes.
Okay.
We will go to a hard question. I think they're all NFL questions.
That's good.
In what year was the first female referee ever featured in an NFL game?
I want to say that was like 2018. Like, it's been pretty recently.
I'll be honest, I have no clue. What year was the first female referee featured in an NFL game?
Brett says 19. See, I don't know how. I wanted to say 18. We got Johnny Lee says 18. We got 15 or so. We got a lot of like the last several years, which doesn't help. My first gut was 2018. I don't know why, but it wasn't last year. I think it was the year before.
It wasn't last year?
No, I think she's been around for a couple of years.
So one thing that I do know about this, because I'm a Jersey guy, and this is how it was referenced this week, was the NFL allowed her to wear like a snapback hat to put her ponytail through. And the first year they didn't allow that, or at least last year they didn't allow that.
I think 18. I'm going to go 18.
All right, I trust you because I don't know. The answer is not even close.
Oh.
2012. A
Lockout?
replacement official got the opportunity due to the full-time referees going on strike.
Damn it.
You remember that? I
Yeah.
do remember that.
All right. 6-2. We got 2 more questions. We cannot miss another question.
And we have a very hard question.
Son of a bitch.
Let's go with that right now. What is the name of the professional football league founded by filmmaker Charlie Eppersall and ESPN analyst Bill Polian? Wasn't that the AAF?
Yeah. Yes, the AAF, the Alliance of American Football.
That they created that. I know that because I told you it was going to fail, and then 3 weeks later it failed. I was like Miss Cleo on that.
Yeah, because Bill Polian's the big one right there. Yes, so the AAF is the correct answer.
I'm locking it in.
Lock it in, baby.
AAF.
All right. We got to get this last one so we can go 8-2 on the day. This is a big one. We're trying to up this. We're trying to go the other direction and stay above 70% so we can't drop to 7.
Yeah, because then we'd start chopping away close to 80.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, it's one of 2 people, but the question is, who is the winningest coach in NFL history? It's either Don Shula or Bill Belichick.
I think Belichick passed Don Shula recently.
So this is tough because I know this trivia is right around 2018 because I just based on some of the answers that we've seen.
Yeah.
Is it Bill Belichick or Don Shula? I think you're right, though. He did pass Don Shula.
It's Bill Belichick. The correct answer is Bill Belichick.
Final answer?
Yes. Now we can go. Bobby still thinks it's Shula.
Don Shula just died, but I think Belichick passed him.
It's Bill Belichick.
Final answer?
What was it? Did it say it's hard or medium or easy?
Medium.
Okay.
I don't think that helps us.
No, it doesn't. Bill Belichick. Final answer.
The answer, it says that it's Don Shula.
Well, let's look. Let's see what it is now.
Let's check. It says that he has won 347 games during his 32 NFL or his career. You got to remember, Don Shula coached a lot longer than Bill Belichick. Don Shula coached from 1970 to 1995.
Ah, crap. Bill Belichick's not even second.
God dang it. know that makes me so mad because you know that. I know that. But
George Hallis is second.
Well, 70%. We're making it harder on ourselves.
Not okay.
We got to do better.
We started off really good.
We had some good, I think overall, we're fooling ourselves. We should have known 2012 because of the strike. We should have known Don Shula.
Mm-hmm.
There's two of the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond Townsend, there's no chance. And then that's it.
George Hallis is second. Tom Landry's fourth. Curly Lambeau fifth. Paul Brown sixth. Andy Reid seventh.
I'm glad there wasn't a bunch of tennis questions, though. We did get the skiing question correct. So.
But we nailed it. So right now, we started today at 71.7%. We end the day, this is week 5 in our Takes Too Long Trivia Tuesday, at 71.4%. So we dropped 0.3 of a percentage point with that last question that we should have had it.
God.
Brett says flush it. We got to flush it and move on to the next week.
This week's over, okay? No one man cost us that either, right?
No, that was a team. Team loss.
A to Z team game.
Yeah. You guys helped us out. Like Kelkins came in big. The Scottie Pippen answer, I believe. Who was it that got that one? Scott? I can't remember. No, it wasn't Scott. I forget. But again, hey, good effort from you guys this week. We'll be better next week for sure. Thanks for watching this Tuesday show. Great stuff. Great conversation about the Vols and Jeremy Pruitt. Okay, trivia performance. Hunter was the correct one on the Scottie Pippen answer. But we'll see you guys tomorrow morning on a Wednesday. Don't forget Buck Rising here with A to Z Sports Primetime tonight. Well, thanks for guys for watching. We'll see you